Good morning and welcome to a new week of coffee chat vlogs. I've got my orange cat Gordie right on cue is here to welcome you back or welcome to our morning. So we're gonna get started with a daily stoic. Some of the artist way that I was diving into yesterday. Orange cat. And some work with my Tombow brush tip markers. Been doing some work with lettering since my sister had kind of suggested that last week. That's been kind of hyper focused on that, so, or hyper fixated, I don't know. So anyways, let's get into the daily stoic. I just love starting my day off this way with this particular book, and this was just a bookmark I had shared previously. I just had like leftover. I had done some watercolor circles and then just did a little bit of art making over it, and it's just become my bookmark for that book. So today is January 13th, the circle of control. We control our reasoned choice in all acts that depend on that moral will. What's not under our control are the body and any of its parts, our possessions, parents, siblings, children, or country. Anything which we might associate. And that was Epicus. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that correctly. But again, this month is clarity for January. This is important enough that it bears repeating. A wise person knows what's inside their circle of control and what is outside of it. The good news is that it's pretty easy to remember what is inside our control. According to the Stoics, the circle of control contains one thing: your mind. That's right, even your physical body isn't completely within the circle. After that, you could be struck with a physical illness or impairment at any moment. You could be traveling in a foreign country and be thrown in jail. But this is all good news because it drastically reduces the amount of things that you need to think about. There is clarity in simplicity. I love that. Of course, I can't find my... There's clarity and simplicity. While everyone else is running around with a list of responsibilities a mile long, things they're not actually responsible for, you've got just that one item list. You've got just one thing to manage: your choices, your will, your mind. So mind it. I love that. It is so true. That's why I really, the more I've gotten into writing out affirmations in the morning, I just notice a difference when I am writing out daily affirmations and when I'm not. I just feel better when I'm doing that because it helps my mind. Writing out those affirmations and writing them out as if they are true statements and they have happened, even if you don't really quite believe it yet. It just starts to become second nature after writing them out like that for so long. So it really does help to change the neural pathways in your brain, I feel like. So really, like, this was January 13th, the circle of control. And so I guess that kind of brings me into the next thing I wanted to talk about this morning was the artist way. Yesterday I sat down finally and got a little bit back into The Artist Way, The Spiritual Path to Higher Creativity by Julia Cameron. And let's see. I was on chapter 8 or week 8, recovering a sense of strength, and in there it had said to pick 5 of these affirmations to write out. select 5 affirmations and work with them this week. And that's something earlier in the book that I had gotten into. And that really does, again, the more you do it, the more it just becomes second nature to do it, writing out these affirmations. So I had chosen, I am a good person and a good artist. Creativity is a blessing I accept. Like last week, I talked about receiving, that prayer for receiving. Sometimes I think, especially as creatives, maybe we're a little bit more sensitive and accepting and receiving can be hard for us. I now treat myself and my creativity more gently, which I really need. I think that's why I started diving back into the artist way, because starting to have a lot of, they call them blurts in the book, like just kind of negative thoughts that it's as if like maybe somebody else almost is in your brain, just like shouting these things that are negative at you and causing you to be blocked as an artist or as a creative. I now share my creativity more openly. I now allow myself to heal. So I believe they had suggested writing each one out 10 times. I might only do 3 to 5. Something I wanted to share that kind of resonated yesterday when I was reading was just about, they call filling the form, and they say that means we must work with what we have rather than languish in complaints over what we have not. And that really resonates. I think that I am very guilty of that, the coming up with an excuse for, or they had talked a little bit about like jealousy in here, of like somebody else is doing that and wanting to do that, but not making small incremental changes to just make that happen for myself. Take one small daily action instead of indulging in big questions. Let's see if I can find it. Like I'm thinking of clearing this desk off and making it a space that I can use. Like it gives the example, a jealousy map. Who, it says, my sister Libby, why are you jealous? She has a real art studio, and the action, the anecdote that you could take is to fix your spare room. So just, my friend Ed writes good crime novels. So your action might be to try writing one. So just small incremental changes that add up to large actions, right? Creative life is grounded on many, many small steps and very, very few large leaps. So it just really resonated. So I think I will write out a few of these affirmations. And these were some from January 10th that we had done together. Trust the process and let your story unfold. That was one of the card. That was the card that I pulled from Allison Dawrant's art poetry deck. She's an amazing artist and has become a friend out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And she has this incredible art poetry deck. And if I pick it up, I have to show it because it's just so beautiful. I love the gold like foil around it and the little polka dots. It's just so perfectly detailed. And oh, there we go. It's still on top. Trust the process and let your story unfold. and like I said, she lives in Alberta, Canada, so they have the Rocky Mountains. She's surrounded by those beautiful mountains where she lives, which I think are a great inspiration for her. So thank you for that, Allison. I love that deck so much. It says, I release all resistance and allow life to flow through me. And that was for, I was having some neck pain. These affirmations: I am free to express myself and release any tension or stiffness in my neck. I like that one a lot. I'm worthy of love and support, and I allow it to flow into my life. I welcome miracles into my life. And then I had written, make space for miracles, and I am deeply fulfilled by all that I do. So I really like those. I'm going to set those off to the side, and I'm just going to write out some of those affirmations. I did not get my pens. Let's just pick. Let's go with hot pink. Good person and a good. I think my alarm's going off in the background. It's my second alarm going off. Keeping me in. I'm going to do 3 for each. Creativity is let's see. Accept. now treat myself and my This is probably my favorite Jelly Roll pen. I love this. It comes off as like a gold. It's kind of fun because it is blue, but then when it dries, it's like this sheen, shimmer to it. And it's nice and thick, and it rolls very nice when you're writing with it. I now share believe yeah. Use my retractable Vortec. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's URITECH is the brand. Myself to heal. And when I was doing these affirmations earlier in the book, I believe they had suggested to use your name, so I would say like I, Kristen, allow myself to heal. And they had suggested 10 times. I only did 3 of each. My hand is quite tired. But this was something that went along with my morning pages. The concept of the morning pages is 3 just stream of consciousness pages written each morning when you first wake up, before you do anything else, to just brain dump whatever is coming through your mind, writing it on the page. 3 pages, like I said, stream of consciousness, and to just, you never go back and read them. You don't share them with anybody. It's just for you to get out whatever is in your brain. You could save them in a notebook. I did that for the first notebook I filled with my morning pages, and then after that I think I just started like ripping them out and like crumpling them up, or just putting them in the garbage. Ripping them up might be kind of a nice way to release or let go of that. And share too, these could be nice to collage if you like to do collage, to like rip up some of these affirmations and put bits and pieces of them in there. But it's really just to kind of get out what is in your brain. So the artist way, can't recommend that enough for any creative. Yeah, and I never really said, it's a fun 12-week long program. So I thought maybe we would do a little bit of, I've gotten out these Tombow dual brush pens. This is the landscape palette. It has these colors included: 131, 192, 379, 526, 603, and N49. Really nice colors. Quite happy with this. I happened to find it at our local Walmart on clearance. Was $11 for $5, so I was quite happy with that. I had gotten these letter practice pages on, if you just do a Google search, the Tombow website has a whole free lettering practice that you can print out. It starts with like lines and squiggles like this I was going to have us do today. It gets into lowercase, uppercase, and numbers. So just thought I would go through this kind of quickly. I'm not gonna, I do love this color. I'm gonna use this color though. I think it's gonna show up better. So when you are doing calligraphy with these dual brush pens, or in their water base too. Okay, and it's got the number right there for you to identify. Or cursive like this, you're on the downstrokes, it's going to be a thicker line. So you're putting more pressure on the pen. And it took me a while to figure out how to use these pens to get that nice thick line. I kind of have to lay it on its side a little bit more, gripping it maybe further back on the pen. So on the downstroke, it's a thick line, and then when you're going up, you're putting less pressure on the pen and just lifting it up. Let's try another color. So on the downstrokes, oops, just even heavy pressure, and then on the light strokes, nice and light going up. And again, if we're doing a thick line, we're going down. Anytime we go down, it's going to be a thicker line and pressure on the pen. And again, I found it helpful to hold it, grip it back a little bit. I think I tend to very much be up on the tip of my pen like that, and it was hard for me to lay down those downstroke marks. Oh, and then on the upstroke, oh, that was a little thick. You're just lightly pulling up. downstroke. Nice thick lines. I actually find it easier to do the downstroke marks because I tend to press very hard on, I grip my writing utensils quite tightly. So it's probably really good practice for me to be doing the upstrokes because I have a hard time lately holding my pen. So you could do a lot with just those 2 strokes, practicing the downstroke, practicing the upstroke. You could do different patterns, different colors. You could spend a lot of time just practicing those 2 marks. This is just printer paper. And then get more into little mountains, like a zigzag. So now you're just putting into practice the light on the up, heavy on the down, light, and kind of heavy pressure, light, into heavy pressure, light, and then down is going to be thick, and then light. End up with those little mountain marks. And then let's just do this. Did I just do that? I did. Actually, let's do that around. Okay, so now instead of it being straight lines, we're going to do a curvy line. So light, and then pressure down. Oh, Gordon. Running out of time. Oh, buddy. Yes, I love you too. I'm coming to say hello. Yes. Everybody loves you, buddy. You're so good. All right. So why don't you go sit in your cat tree? Be good. And I find that one to be a little harder because I'm trying to do it all in one stroke. Again, I'm just having to hold back further on my pen. I think I find this harder anyways because I tend to grip so tightly. I have a hard time being really loose. So this would be a really good one for me to practice. Again, because I do get so tight. And then finally they're showing an O that we can do. So in the downstroke, it's nice and thick, and then going up, we're letting go, nice light pressure. So again, you can get these practice pages right off of their website for free. You just print them. And I found these to be very helpful when I first started, and that was how I learned, was just honestly doing the practice pages. So I am in no way an expert at all. It's just something that I enjoyed playing around with. And just kind of made it my own. So great practice tool there. And actually, I'm just going to take the blank one. I was having a hard time with the loose lines. So just pick my favorite color right here. And spacing is always hard for me too. downstroke is my favorite. The upstroke is more difficult. I think I'm liking that one more than that one. Oh, it's really hard for me to get an even, loose line like that. I think that one's probably my favorite in the row. No, actually, I don't want to waste that top line, so I'm just going to go back and practice on top. So I think, yep, okay, we're about the end of our time for this morning, but I highly recommend TOMBOW. If you Google it, go to their website, you'll find there's a spot to print off the practice pages. It's a great way to start. That's where I started, and just kind of play around with it and have fun. And you can do so much just with those couple of marks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 marks that I showed you. It would be really fun to do circles. You could do large circles, small circles, different colors, affirmations, words in them, kind of like we did with the watercolor. So a lot that would be fun to go up and down, writing words, perhaps. Writing words going across. So I'm just coming up with thinking of lots of things that I could do to play more with those just few marks. But let's flip through our tiny book of tiny pleasures. It was gifted to me by my friend Julia. I've been really loving this book. It's so fun to just turn to a page and see what it has. The world's most walkable cities. Florence, Italy. Paris, France. Croatia. I'm going to try to pronounce that. New York City, New York. Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Edinburgh, Scotland. Boston, Massachusetts. And Melbourne, Australia. That's interesting. And then it says wandering through a new city. That certainly can be fun to go someplace new. Oftentimes I get comfortable being where I am. It's nice to go someplace new. So love this little book. It's great to keep like on your desk and just flip through it and see what you kind of uncover. Love the illustrations in that. So I hope that you got some sort of something from this, some sort of inspiration for the day. And I hope that you'll come back and join me again tomorrow. Until then, be well.